What's good, y'all? Today I want to talk about my one and only waifu and our new general, Feixiao. This absolute DPS behemoth condensed into a gorgeous Foxian with a beautiful smile and 10% body fat is the new win DPS following the Path of the Hunt in Honkai Star Rail. If anyone can redeem the hunt as a desired path, it's Feixiao. I'd like to discuss how we can effectively build our general to allow her to shine as the DPS backbone of follow-up attack teams. So without further ado, here's Feixiao.
Immediately. I venture forth to hunt. I'll see the general's duty through to my last breath.
The most important thing to understand about Feixiao's kit is flying arias. These are the points she receives, which empowers her ultimate, Terra Split. This mechanic is much like Acheron's ultimate, where you need a particular number of points to activate it. Unlike Acheron, Feixiao receives a point of flying arias for every 2 attacks made by herself and her team, excluding her actual ultimate itself until you unlock her A4 major trace. This includes follow-up attacks, which significantly helps speed up the process. You could use her in other team comps, but you would be severely limiting her by doing so. Flying Arias is part of Feixiao's talent, Thunder Hunt. She is able to hold a maximum of 12 points of Flying Arias, but only needs 6 to use her ultimate. Thunder Hunt also includes a follow-up attack once per turn when she or her team members attack a target. If the target is destroyed before Feixiao can perform this follow-up attack, she will randomly attack a different target. This attack also deals wind damage based on a percentage of Feixiao's attack and increases damage dealt by Feixiao for a percentage as well. Both percentages are determined by talent trace level, and in fact, for the rest of the video, if I mention percentage without giving a precise one, that will also be true. Terra Split, the ultimate that 6 points of Flying Arias enables, is monstrous. At trace level 10, Feixiao will deal wind damage up to 700% of her attack to a single target. Terra Split reduces the toughness of the target regardless of weakness type, and if the target is not weakness broken, Feixiao's weakness break efficiency increases by a flat 100%. For the initial 6 strikes of Terra Split, Feixiao can choose between using Bolt Thunder Blitz or War Axe Skyward, which both will deal wind damage equal to a percentage of her attack. Bolt Thunder Blitz receives an additional percentage damage multiplier if the target is weakness broken. If the target is not weakness broken, War Axe Skyward will receive the same additional percentage. You'll get to choose between the two. After these 6 strikes, Feixiao will perform a final attack dealing wind damage equal to a percentage of Feixiao's attack to the target. Feixiao's basic attack, Bolt Thunder, deals wind damage equal to a percentage of her attack to a single target. Her skill War Axe does the same with a larger multiplier, and immediately launches a follow-up attack against the target. This follow-up is the same one defined in her talent. She is possibly one of the most self-sufficient DPS units in the game, since she is capable of buffing herself and increasing her own Flying Arias stacks with her skill alone. When you think about it, that is absolutely insane for one character to be able to do. Her out-of-combat technique, Stormborn, puts Feixiao in the on-rush state for 20 seconds. While in this state, she will pull in enemies within a certain range to her, increase her out-of-combat movement speed by 50%, and upon entering battle, she'll obtain 1 point of Flying Arias. When Onrush is active, when attacking, she will enter battle dealing wind damage equal to 200% of her attack to all enemies pulled in at the start of each wave. For each additional enemy entering combat this way, this multiplier increases by 100% per enemy with a maximum value of 1000% total. As always, the best light cone for Feixiao is her signature light cone, I Venture Forth to Hunt. It increases her crit rate and gives a buff that allows ultimate damage to ignore 27% defense that can stack twice. 5-star alternatives to this would be Ratio's or Topaz's signature light cones, and Cruising in the Stellar Sea. Solid 4-star alternatives would be Swordplay and Only Silence Remains. You could also use Zila's signature light cone, but S5 Swordplay is a better option for Feixiao overall. Feixiao's best relic sets in this order are 4-piece Wind-Soaring Valorous and Ash Blazing Grand Duke to boost her follow-up attacks. You could also try 2-piece Ash Blazing, pairing it with a few different sets like Pioneer Diver of Dead Waters or Eagle of Twilight. Her recommended planetary sets are Durin Dynasty of Running Wolves, Izumo Gensai, and Takama Divine Realm, and Inert Salsodo. Durin is the clear winner here, but the other 2 sets are not bad alternatives. The main stats you'll want for these relics are crit rate or crit damage for the body, attack or speed for the feet, wind damage for the sphere, and attack for the link rope. Pretty simple, to be honest. You could also consider using an attack sphere if you have better substats on it. Speaking of substats, you'll want speed to the desired breakpoint, probably 134 for MOC, crit rate and crit damage, and finally attack percent. She's pretty simple to build overall, but these stats and substats are desired by most DPS in the game. This makes it more difficult to build a fully kitted follow-up attack team with Feixiao. Time for you to farm relics. For Feixiao's major traces, You'll want to get them in the natural order they come in: A2 Heaven Path, then A4 Form Shift, and finally A6 Bolt Catch. For her abilities, prioritize her ultimate, then talent, then skill, and finally basic attack. If you desire to commit financial Sudoku and pull for Eidolons, I can't stop you. However, I will recommend the stopping point be E2. Feixiao's E1, Skyward I Quell, stacks on an additional 10% ultimate damage onto the final attack of her ultimate to a maximum of 5 stacks. Her E2 and suggested stopping point, Moonward I Wish, converts the half points of Flying Aureus gained specifically by follow-up attacks to whole points. This means one follow-up attack will give Feixiao 1 point of Flying Aureus. This effect can trigger up to 6 times per turn. Feixiao's E4 and E6 are very brutal as well, so if you are an independently wealthy oil baron, I think it's a good idea to get them. You won't be disappointed. There's no point in really discussing what they do, because at this point, if you're still pulling copies, does it really matter? Feixiao's premium team comp is herself with Aventurine, Topaz, and Robin, but there are plenty of free-to-play friendly units I will discuss shortly. Robin is her best harmony support by far, and you may want to consider pulling her instead of Eidolons or Feixiao's signature light comp. Topaz is used in this comp because Numby can increase Flying Aureus points quickly while increasing follow-up damage. Aventurine is here to make the team comfier. Alternatives to these would be Hunt March 7th and Mose for damage. Ruin May could be substituted for Robin, and any other sustain unit could be put in place of Aventurine. It's also possible to run 3 DPS instead of a sustain to maximize damage. Also, if you're the one person in this world that has E4 Bronya, she becomes a follow-up attacker, which is kind of crazy. You may want to experiment with Bronya anyway, because allowing Feixiao to get more actions with buffs is pretty much always a good idea. Feixiao is the main DPS we've needed for follow-up attack teams since their inception. If Robin is the follow-up anchor, Feixiao is the cannon ready to sink the opposition. I really love the idea of Foyoverse going all in on different team types. It makes the game less stale, and it also makes me excited to see what they do next. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, do not just take my word for it. Make sure you're also doing your own research and due diligence as well. Be sure to leave a comment below to let me know if you'll be pulling Feixiao, and if you do, I'd like to hear about how your pulls went. Between us, I just started this channel recently, and I really want to see it grow more. If you'd like to contribute to that growth, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.